Recon here with a 2010 Ford F250. We had a complaint of a little bit of an exhaust leak. So when we took these guys out, we did this about a year ago. Should have gone back with new studs and new nuts because a couple of them backed their way out and caused us an exhaust leak. Actually blew this part of the gasket out right here. So just a quick how-to, kind of a what you're in for on this thing. This is probably my least favorite exhaust manifold changeover that I've ever done. So you have to take the inner fender well out to start with, tire off, inner fender well off. You're going to need to take the starter off from underneath. You're going to take the AC compressor off from the bottom, so you're going to disconnect it, suck the AC freon out of it. You will have to get that motor mount out on that guy right there is a tough one to get out, and to do that you have to lift the motor up, which brings us to the top side of the engine. If you've got one of these guys, I don't know another way to do it, but you take your crossbar, engine support, up at the top, and you're going to latch on to where the alternator used to be, which means you're taking the air box out of this thing. You're going to take, till you get enough room, you're going to take the next part of the housing that hooks onto the throttle body out from the top of this guy, so you have enough clearance room to lift this thing up with the support all the way up to the top so that you can get that motor mount out. So that also means you're going to be taking the fan out because it would hit the housing, the fan tread housing. And the alternator you're going to have to remove so you can go put some bolts in where that was in order to lift up on the engine and get it where it needs to be. Some other things you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take a couple of the nuts off from the transmission mount. That's at the bottom right there. You take those guys loose, and you're gonna have to take the white pipe off from the bottom. Let's see if I can show you a picture. Oh, right there, both sides. The down pipe for those exhaust manifolds. This is mine. It's kind of down in there. Getting those nuts off, or the studs out from the exhaust manifold is pretty much, I think, as far as I know, impossible without removing that motor mount, or at least breaking it loose to jack it up. And those eight bolts and nuts right there are inaccessible without all the rest of this stuff. This is just the right hand side. The left hand side's a little bit easier, but you still got to take it loose to jack it up. So you got to take that center bolt out of the motor mount on both sides, or at least loosen it up on both sides. Big man pajamas. And then the 4 bolts that are on the bottom, or the nuts that are on the bottom of that guy, to finally get this guy out.